So how does sort of crafting a web series, how does that differ from crafting a feature film? You know, what are some of the things you can point out to us?
You're the crafter. I'm the reader.
I think it's just, I think, at least the way we're looking at the web series, we were thinking of it with views in mind. You know, the internet is a very crowded place, and well, you know, a lot of us are hopeful that more long form can start to be more mainstream on the internet. Right now, that's not the case. So episodes have to be a little shorter, and you know, you need to keep the audience coming back for more. You have a very limited time span to introduce a character, tell a story, and end it, and then keep them coming back for more. Whereas when you have a film, you have that entire time. You know, no one's gonna hopefully walk out of the theater, you know, 45 minutes in. So I think with the web series, it's important to remember that even though, you know, you have a whole season, which essentially comes out to the length typically of a TV pilot, every episode still has, even if it's only 5 minutes, has to have a beginning, middle, end. Beginning, middle, end, with that end having to, you know, keep the audience clicking on that next video page. And I think with the feature, it's more, I guess, at least for us, which you know, may be to our detriment in more mainstream distribution, but it's, you know, about like being able to like really dig into the story, really, you know, have fun with it over the course of that 90 minutes rather than over the course of like 5 minutes out, 5 minutes out, 5 minutes out.
I mean, it's just like, you know, it's one big arc that you're following rather than like arc, crescendo arc, you know, where like that's the web format where, you know, everything, like you said, you know, has to have a beginning, middle, end, and like you obviously don't have to, like, that would be a very strange film if it sort of had that cycle throughout. Yeah, you know.
And like I said, there's obviously, you know, the structure to a feature format too, but it gives you you have more time to get across what you want to get across. So long as you're still making good use of that time, because it's I mean, you can easily fall into the trap of handling through a feature as well. You have none of that time in a web series, at least right now. I mean, it'd be cool to see one that did. That would be pretty awesome.
The mumblecore web series.
Yeah.
and you know, you said the process of doing this, of going from web series to feature, has been very freeing. I mean, can you talk a little bit more specifically on maybe how it opened up, and maybe how you're seeing this story in a new light, how you're seeing some of these characters in a new light?
Yeah, I think, well, I think it's just a mentality, and you know, maybe it's because I'm more comfortable in, you know, a feature versus a web series, and it's definitely more me than the format, but just it became very focused on where the plot was at, and it's very easy to lose the characters with that. It's a harder juggling act, for me at least, in that time frame, with the web series. There are some web series producers that do that very well. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, it's honestly hard to remember sometimes what the original script was, the web series version, because I've now read this one so many times. But I mean, I think some of the things were like changing in characters. Like there was, you know, the Vikram's character, for example, where there were certain things that he was having him do as part of the original script, or this character was doing. And I think it was because with the web series, you are kind of balancing all the characters too. You know, you can't have 2 episodes where all the characters aren't there. Or, you know, you're missing somebody for a long time, so you kind of have to keep them in mind as well. But now, you know, with the feature, you kind of do have that luxury of moving things around and shifting them. And I think Vikram was one of those characters where I don't entirely remember what you did, because I only know what the end result is now. But I think you like switched around who did what, or that he came back or he didn't come back or something along those lines. But I don't think, I mean, he couldn't have done that with the web series format. So I think that's what it was for, where it's like, well, it doesn't have to, he doesn't have to be in this part. He doesn't have to be a part of this part of the story.
And I think it goes back to audience too, because there's a certain type of web series audience. So there's the challenge of have an indie sci-fi, lo-fi sci-fi drama, which is going to be hard enough to find its audience, but to try to introduce people to web series, because that's still a new growing format. With that, it's a double challenge, as it were.